Now
Now you're
I am.
recording?
Yeah.
Yay!
Good to know that we still have fucking bronies that are still gross to this day.
Woohoo!
A while ago on Instagram, my sister told everyone she liked My Little Pony. She was 11. I realize it's against Instagram's terms of service, but this was a while ago. Nobody really questioned it. Bad idea. One day, a creepy pony started messaging her. According to her, he wasn't that weird at first. Asked questions about things like, what do you like about the show and who's your favorite character? She eventually started showing his creepy side, asking things like, do you think the cakes, ponies who in canon have had a foal, had sex? Which made her uncomfortable, so she blocked him.
What?
Do you think the cakes, the ponies who in canon have a foal, had sex?
Well, I mean,
yeah?
we'll just say, for the sake of continuity for the kiddies, the stork brought them. Or the Easter Bunny. Hell, we could say Santa or the Great Pumpkin at this point.
How about for the sake of Sandy, we leave it at the fucking stork?
Okay.
Let's see, dude couldn't take a hint, made an alternate account, spammed her with images of Foalcon rape. Okay, this went straight to fucking hell in a handbasket. It was bad. This was a couple years ago, but she hasn't rejoined Instagram since.
My question is, where do these people come from, and why do they exist?
I think they came out of the woodwork with fucking anime. I mean, I was an anime fan before I basically went into My Little
Yes, but you
Pony.
creepily message women and being all like, did the cakes have sex? Like, come on, dude, where is your sense of morality?
I mean, it's not a fucking. It's not really that much of a fucking mystery. I mean, ponies can reproduce.
Well, the real question, the real thing is, who cares if the cakes have sex? That's not the point of the show. They're there for plot devices. Like, come on.
Yeah, they're there to make up two plot devices that gave Pinkie Pie such a migraine, which bring a little bit of joy to me.
You must really loathe that character.
She's been written kind of annoying as of late. This all began in the spring of 2014. I was 10. I had just gotten my first real social media on my iPad, which was Instagram. I was really into My Little Pony as well as The Littlest Pet Shop, but that's not really part of this. As a kid, so naturally, when I first made an Instagram account, I made my account about ponies and Little Pet Shop. Later on, I made my account entirely My Little Pony. I found out what role-playing was and made my account as if I were Pinkie Pie, even joining a group called Equestria Girls. Equestria Girls Squad. Became best friends with all the people in the group without my parents' knowledge. Of course. We would do these innocent little pony role plays together and stuff. It was all fine and dandy, but one day a new guy came into the group. All the people in the group at that point were girls 10 to 13, and the guy told us he was 16.
Uh-oh.
Well, no. The legal age is 18, so this is probably just creepy, not underage creepy. Or pedophilia or whatever.
Oh no, man.
Well, let's find out. He was a role-playing account for the gender swap of Pinkie Pie. Of course, this sparked my little 10-year-old self's interest. By the way, back then, we would have SSPs, Special Sum Pony, term used in the show to reference a girlfriend or boyfriend. Yeah, we know. Most of the girls in the group had one. I wanted one too, because the only guy in the group seems nice to me at the time. He agreed to be mine. Nothing we did together was really wrong at the point. The most we would do is message each other fan art the characters we roleplayed, so have snuggling and stem off of that. But one day he came to the group chat and all taught us what dirty roleplaying and clopping was. He had explained what porn was to a lot of us, and we were dumb, so we really didn't find any interest in it. That was around the same time I actually saw my first ever porn video. Naturally, I thought it was gross and wanted nothing to do with it. Oh, you get a little older, you'll get used to it. But then again, at some point, he started begging us, mostly me, to dirty roleplay with him, and eventually I caved in. Taught me how to do it, and after it was done, I was feeling uncomfortable. But he kept begging me to do it again, day after day, and at some point he manipulated me enough to start enjoying it. Then he introduced some other people into the group, and they would join him when we do our dirty role plays. Every time he would become more and more graphic, and I assumed he stepped it up each time so he could become more and more aroused. He was never really satisfied. He fucked up me and everyone else in our chat. Oh, those poor girls.
Hey, it was Toon Critic before Toon Critic.
Probably was Toon Critic.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that motherfucker.
He had some nasty fetishes and was a proud clopper, would often send us cropped pony porn, and as soon as he manipulated us into liking it, we would encourage him to keep doing what he was doing. One day his account was gone and we couldn't find him, and the rest of the group never heard from him. But I haven't seen the last of him. In fact, I've encountered him 3 more times and eventually became his best friend at one point. At the time, he became a furry. He even manipulated me once again into being a furry porn-loving yiffer. But last year I finally realized he's a disgusting person who's most likely a pedophile, so I blocked him and I haven't seen him since. The experience made me want to have nothing to do with furries or bronies. All in all, it was just really disturbing.
You know, she should have stopped the first time, but hey, I guess young people may not be brave enough to do it. Honestly, her parents should have, monitor her better.
Obvious warning that the story will contain mentions of pedophilia, sexual assault, and, well, above all else, a disgusting idiot. I have a twin sister, who we will call Kitty for anonymous reasons.
Wait, what? What's her name?
Kitty. Well, we'll call
I'm
Kitty.
going to die!
Well, we'll call her Kitty for anonymous reasons. Who posted a photo set on Twitter about a week ago showing screenshots of multiple people interacting with a bait lolly RP account she set up as a joke and sending them episodes of How to Catch a Predator if they try to interact.
Okay, this sounds like my chick. Anyway, go on.
Hold on now. Now, this is where this bitch from my sister's school, who I'll just call Pegasister, replies to this post. She acts like she just saw the most mind-blowingly dumb thing in her entire life, saying things like, "Are you serious?" and "Is this real?" with a profile picture of some red and yellow foal and panties. For some odd reason, they spelled it pantries.
Okay.
My sister confirmed that yes, people indeed surprisingly get offended by pedophiles. And this is where she goes apeshit, sending her multiple replies, the bullshit like it's not real. And even say that she got the definition of pedophilia wrong and that people like you were the death of the human language. Of course, I stepped in to defend Kitty because I love my sister and I'm not an asshole, and this shit gets worse. I tried explaining that they're still a bit underaged and that being a cartoon doesn't make any difference. Pegasister acts like I just told her some dumb shit. This fempedo then told me it isn't pedophilia. They typed it in such weird language, I swear it might have been you with worse or dyslexia.
Please don't compare me to this person.
Because cartoon characters don't really look like real-life human children, different proportions, cartoony voice, etc., and that cartoon ponies aren't like real baby ponies. No matter how many times we try to show her some logic. The Pegasister had her head much too far up her own ass to hear any of it. Then she decided to tell us that we're no different than the average troll, and even said that we were on the same level as the pedos who assault children because we weren't stopping the real ones. My sister, obviously upset by this, tells her that she's a victim of pedophilia. I won't go too far into it for her and my sake, but it happened when she was 10 with a 50-year-old man. She took 4 years to tell her parents and the police, and now he's in jail.
Wait, what? Whoa.
The kitty in this story was a victim of pedophilia with a 50-year-old man. Dude, most victims of pedophilia aren't willing.
I'm not saying that they're willing, but just the thought. Blech.
Yeah. But luckily, this guy's in jail, according to the story.
Good, I hope fucking big backdoor Bubba Brown comes and rapes his ass.
She's also an active ally to other victims of pedophilia. But, being that this is a dumbass, our dumbass is not deterred, basically saying, I'm sorry that it happened to you, but I don't care that you're a victim because I can't keep my dick out of my hand. And I support people who will in the future make more victims like you. And judging by the silence before that, our kitty also got triggered and ended up having a panic attack. Obviously, at this point, we decided this wasn't worth it. Blocked her after my sister calmed down. So, we both agreed to tell the teacher they shared what happened. But it didn't stop there. Pegasister harasses her on multiple of her gross Foalcon roleplay accounts. She logged off of Twitter for a bit for obvious reasons. Right now, my sister and Pegasister are dealing with it with a counselor at school. But Kitty's not allowed to tell me anything about it since it's all private sessions. I just really hoped the bitch gets what she deserves.
God, I hope that girl dies. Or whoever, like, the other female that's like, oh yeah, pedophilia is fine.
I was taking care of my little niece. We went to the mall and had fun. During lunch, I noticed a few people with wings on their backs with MLP shirts decked out in MLP merch. I knew who they were, and they were not going to bother us. My whole thought is that bronies are obnoxious, but if they're not bothering me, I don't have an issue. My niece wanted to go to Build-A-Bear. We walked there, and she was trying to decide what plushie she wanted. She saw Rainbow Dash 1 and picked it. And that's when the bronies came over. She was going through the process of stuff and then got to dress it. And that's when the bronies became assholes. One, when he was done, went over to my niece and said, Rainbow Dash would not wear that. The others joined in and began to harass my niece, going, You're not a real MLP fan. I got sick of it all, because she was in tears. I was telling them she's a kid, let her dress it how she wants. They would not even stop, even if she's picking a name. Call her Rainbow Dash, they said. My niece wanted to name it something else. Once we were done, I took her out of there, got her ice cream, but the fucking douchebags would not stop. I had to threaten them with security. They were still not leaving us alone. One mall has a branch of the local sheriff's department. One officer walked by, thank God he intervened, and told him to leave. Super nice. I just don't understand why bronies can feel the need to bully a little girl.
Who cares? Well, like, why were they getting all upset about fucking Rainbow Dash plushie?
I guess they were trying to force the cannon on her when she just wanted to do whatever she wants.
I want to stab him.
Hell, if there was a Build-A-Bear and I noticed there were some bronies around, I'd fucking do that just to spite them. But that would imply me knowing where a Build-A-Bear is, and me not having much of a life. Let's see. Brony On Omegle, 4-word horror story, / but yeah, I have the misfortune of encountering a brony on Omegle a few years ago. Actually, I encountered more, but this was the worst. I decided to meet fans of MLP on Omegle, so I entered the MLP tag and went on video chat. That was my first mistake, but back then I had no idea that Omegle video chat was filled with preferred creeps. When I did it, I knew. That's why I didn't turn it on. So I ended up meeting one brony. We say hi to each other and we fuck.
You died on the inside, didn't you?
Yes. Okay.
Now it's time for the funeral.
And just after I ask him who his favorite pony is, he stands up. An important note, he's only wearing an open robe. Nothing else. When he stood up, he proudly showed off a naked erection.
Well then. How old was the girl?
Um, reading it a little further. 12.
Ah!
I was so grossed out, I looked away from the screen, hoping that he would take the hint and sit back down. He didn't, so I ended the call. At the time, I was 12.
Oh my god. Why freaking okay, two things. Why do pedophiles exist? And why are children allowed to be on the internet unsupervised? We got two problems and we got fixed.
Yeah, but nobody's willing to fix it.
Gas all the pedophiles, put them in a concentration camp, and then like make sure the kids are well educated about the internet if they want to go on the internet. Please make them supervised. I'm gonna be the next Hitler, everybody.
Too lazy. We'll make the internet do what we want so we don't have to do jack shit. That way that little brat will stay silent while I drank my wine and worries away that I fucked up birthing this kid when he wanted to go bareback.
Jesus Christ.
I'm making up excuses. Anyways, a few years later, I finally realized Omegle is a terrible, terrible place. Now you decided? I stopped visiting that
No,
site.
it's a happy place.
I stopped visiting that site after an incident last year where this guy jacked off to me on video chat.
Oh boy.
Without my knowledge, when I was an innocent, non-sexual cosplay of Clear from Dramatical Murder.
I have no idea what that is, but hey.
I believe it's an anime. Hold on. Let me Google it real quick. Yeah, it's a Japanese boy love visual novel.
Oh boy.
I found out he was jacking off to me where he showed me his ejaculation, and I was 15 years old. And the story stops there.
People, please, watch your kids. That's all we're asking. And nuke the pedophiles. Put them in a gas chamber. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go Hitler on them. Fuck.
No new submissions in a while. I love this blog. Hopefully can change that. Luckily, most of the shitstorm don't really come off from being a brony as much as being a terrible human. However, the fact that she was a brony made it much worse, and the story is pretty tame compared to the other ones I've seen on here. So we have me, that is Violet. And we have the brony, that is Daisy. And our mutual friend and friends, Dandelion, Poppy, and Buttercup.
Oh god, this is gonna end so bad. I just know it.
Now, before anyone calls me out for maintaining this toxic friendship despite the red flags, it was because I was naive and let my kind heart impair my moral judgment. Never doing that again. Okay, good to get that cleared out of the way.
Alright.
I admit I had a bit of this rabid brony stage, mostly in the middle school. It was mostly me always putting MLP in my schoolwork, wearing MLP merch, shoving the shut down people's throats, assigning people characters, loudly singing the theme song during lunch.
What? Why are you singing the theme song during lunch?
I guess you could say it was pretty bad. Now, as a freshman, my obsession had cooled. I still enjoyed the show, and I would draw the characters, but I made more attempts to appear a sane human being. And for me, MLP was more of a casual enjoyment instead of a lifestyle. Fair enough. At first, the brony, Daisy, would be your typical cute Asian girl. Small, quiet, skinny, lots of skirts and dresses, and is into cute Asian stuff. And trust me, she thought she was one too. She didn't look or act like an annoying fangirl for most people, but around me, Daisy was a pretty big MLP fangirl. She would have herself be Pinkie Pie and me be Rainbow Dash, her favorite character and my favorite character respectively. I still liked MLP at the time, I played along, but kept everything low-key. She would constantly ask me for drawings of Pinkie. I took requests at the time, I thought nothing of it. Looking back at it, I now realize she literally would mooch off me for drawings all the time, even if it were just sketches. Boy, that sounds so fucking familiar.
Go on.
Daisy also really liked touching me for some reason. Well, that kind of... Ugh, sorry.
What?
Daisy also really liked touching me for some reason.
Oh, creepo alert.
She would always grab onto my arm, play with my hair, or try to hold my hand, despite me telling her to stop. She'd call me, I shit you not, her little bunny, or little Barbie doll, and tell me I was so cute when I got all defensive. I'm 5'1", and look kinda young for my age, so yeah. Are you relatable?
Guys, so just because I'm 5'1" doesn't mean I'm jailbait. What did you say?
I was laughing.
No, my boyfriend said something.
I said, ew.
No, you said yeah, it does.
I'm fine with giving hugs, since it's normal, but I don't really like it when people touch me like that. Daisy was also incredibly possessive. She would keep me from talking to mutual friends so she could have me to herself. Also try and grab me and touch me while doing so. Whenever we were in a group, and she wasn't the center of attention, she'd play victim like we were purposely excluding her despite the fact we were doing no such thing. When I confronted her about it, she pulled on a Pinkie Pie voice and said, "What do you mean, silly? I'm totally fine." Or her voice drops to the tone you use if you want to sound like an evil cartoon character. She said, "Be careful or I'll turn you into a cupcake."
Jesus Christ.
Of course, I didn't take her very seriously and laughed it off. She would even make up lies about my friends to turn me against him. However, it was when I ran into Poppy and Buttercup that she decided to stop and talk to them for a bit that shit hit the fan. Daisy hated Poppy and Buttercup. Daisy had never talked to them. I guess she just hated them for the way they looked, or just wanted to keep me for herself. Basically, the whole time, Daisy was trying to steal me back from them while we were talking. Afterwards, Daisy angrily grabbed me and began to yell at me. Even stupid so low as to bring Dandelion into this. Daisy asked me what we were talking about, and I told her I was just showing Poppy and Buttercup the funny picture I found. Then Daisy asked me if I saw the way they were looking at me and told me they were trying to manipulate me. I said that since I was there, I would know what's going on the best, and no such things were happening. They were laughing with me, and were having a completely tame conversation. Then I wish I could say I was joking, but Daisy whips out this scenario. Now pretend Dandelion, I swear she didn't do anything why Daisy had to bring her up. Pretend Dandelion is Fluttershy, I am Pinkie Pie, and Poppy and Buttercup are Griffins, and you are Rainbow Dash. Are you going to stand with your true friends? Or are you going to just ditch us to be cool? She did actually quote the song.
Wow. I want to die.
I was pretty annoyed with this bullshit. You're all my friends. I, frustrated and tired, snapped. Daisy then pats me on the head, but why though, and says, in that Pinkie Pie voice, "What a surprise. That's why you need to watch more My Little Pony. It'll teach you something." Excuse me, but doesn't being a good friend also mean not shutting other people out because they're not like you or in your little clique?
She's asking the real questions here.
Around this time, I found my style changing into more girly, unlike the way I dressed in middle school. I began getting into more stylish clothes instead of MLB t-shirts and jeans every day. I started to wear makeup and doing my hair. I found that I really liked fashion and dressing nicely, and still do. Daisy, however, despite the fact she literally wore pencil skirts and designer dresses to school, did not like that. She would guilt trip me, telling me she missed the old Violet and wish I would just go back to wearing t-shirts and jeans. Then she accused me of becoming like Poppy and Buttercup and them of corrupting me. I think I'm more than what I wear, and I was annoyed and a bit amused that Daisy was trying to keep me from making my own decisions. Seriously, if you talked to me at the time, you would find I'm equally fun-loving and joyful, and I really hadn't changed it at all. So that pretty much sums up my freshman year with Daisy. Luckily, I didn't see Daisy very much my sophomore year. She was last spotted my junior year. Luckily, she's out of her MLP phase, but I have some quick stories that are well amusing. She sent me a borderline sexual anime gif in casual conversation. No body parts were shown, but the undergarments were showing off, so it was heavily applied. I had to tell her to not send me these things because my dad said so, which he would if he saw. She thankfully listened. I left my math class early doing something for a club, and I returned to find Daisy going through my backpack, pulling out my pencil bag, looking through it and asking why I didn't have any more cute Asian stationery. Because they're all broke. She invited me over to her birthday party, had a passive-aggressive hissy fit when I said I might not be able to come because I had other commitments. And we weren't really close of friends as she thought, and I was just trying to keep my distance from her after what happened. I then got into Undertale. God. But thankfully not a crazy fan. More of again a casual enjoyment for me. And also because the original soundtrack is bomb as fuck. Okay, we're good. Daisy found out. Keep trying to talk to me about the game and her love for Sans. She was especially loud about it, which was annoying since I wanted to keep my love for Undertale on the down low, since a lot of the fans at my school were crazy, and I didn't want to be stalked by them. She kept encouraging me to dye my hair red like Undyne, my favorite character, who is also, ironically, a redhead. Now Daisy hangs out with weeaboos and thinks Asians are the superior race, but is friends with a white girl. She is bound by middle school stereotypes and has a burning hatred against anyone in the popular crowd. I am polite to her if she talks to me, but I still try to keep my distance. Buttercup and I are still friends and have grown closer. Sadly, I don't see Poppy very often. All of them graduated, and I will miss them. I do not see Dandelion very often either, but I still enjoy talking to her. That's it.
That was creepy AF.
Yeah. Alright, I think I had enough.
Okay.